Hello and welcome to our post-match debrief on the Blood Red channel. I'm Paul Gorst, Liverpool Echoes, Liverpool FC correspondent. I'm here with the Echoes Everton FC correspondent Adam Jones. Straight after the 235th Merseyside derby, FA Cup third round, Liverpool have won 1-0. Curtis Jones has won the goal, has settled the tie in a much changed Liverpool team. Adam, your thoughts?
Deja vu, really. Last time I was sat here talking to you on this debrief, I called Everton's performance embarrassing, and I think this one would potentially even worse.
Really?
If I'm honest. I think the new manager bounce has definitely died for Everton now, and whether it was mind games or Klopp or not to put out the team that he did, I think it essentially put his side in a win-win situation. Either they were going through or they were going to bow out, having given Everton a bit of a fight, and I think it just put all the pressure on Everton, and they just didn't respond. The team that Everton put out compared to the one that Liverpool put out, they should have won quite comfortably, and they had the chances to win quite comfortably, to be honest, in the first half, just didn't take them. And fair play to Liverpool, they came out in the second half. They were the ones who had all the fight, all the desire, all the belief that they were going to go on and win this game. Everton had none of it. Even after Jones scored, there was no reaction from Everton at all. And the fact that the majority of them went straight down the tunnel at the end of the game kind of just sums up the mentality that they had on display throughout the 90 minutes.
I mean, Liverpool made 9 changes for this game. Adrian in goal, Nico Williams. They actually brought back Nat Phillips from loan at Stuttgart specifically for this game, really. And then James Milner, the captain, the leader of the team, he's injured inside the first 10 minutes, and Yasser Larouci is another one coming on for his Liverpool debut. How have Everton not won this? How have Liverpool managed to somehow win the game with what's essentially a second-string academy team?
I don't know. I truly don't know. I think, fair play. I don't want to just slate Everton and that's it. Fair play to all those Liverpool youngsters who you've mentioned there. I think they have done themselves proud. They've done Liverpool proud by the way they've performed. I thought that Nico Williams was absolutely fantastic throughout the 90 minutes. He probably would have been my man of the match if I was doing any Liverpool player ratings. I thought Larouci was great when he came on. Obviously Jones scored the goal, and I thought he was constant thorn in the side. Harvey Elliott in the second half especially really gave Luca Dean a lot of problems. But as you say, I'm mentioning these players, and Everton had 9 internationals in their squad today, and none of them stood up to the plate. None of them, they should have looked at what was last month's performance, an embarrassing display in itself, and thought to themselves, right, we need to really stand up and be counted here. We need to put in some fight. There was 8,000 Everton fans here today. They really should have put in at least a bit of fight for them, and they just didn't do it. And and to be honest, Everton have put in these performances far too many times this season. It's what lost Marco Silva his job at the end of the day, that he just couldn't seem to motivate these players, even for the lesser games that we've had in the Premier League, let alone a Merseyside derby and the FA Cup. And it just seems to be a problem that is really inherently dug into this squad at the minute. And if Carlo Ancelotti didn't know the task that he's got on his hands in taking this Everton job, he knows it now.
Yeah, I mean, Liverpool won it 4 weeks ago, 5-2 with a full-strength team, and that was in the dying embers of Marco Silva's reign. Everton have come here on a little bit of a boost with Carlo Ancelotti at the helm. He's the only manager who's actually beaten Jurgen Klopp this season, with Napoli back in September. But still, Liverpool have come away with a win, and it's now 19 games since Everton have won a derby, and obviously 21 years at Anfield. Is there some sort of inferiority complex when Everton cross Stanley Park to come to Anfield? Because it seems no matter who the players are, Liverpool will still come away with a win.
I wouldn't describe it as an inferiority complex, because looking at the 2 lineups today, there just shouldn't have been that at all. I think there is just some sort of inherent mentality issue with Everton, though. I don't think you can describe it as anything else at this point. Everton in the past have come to Anfield and have played Liverpool, having been in better form than Liverpool, and the lineups have been closer. Even when both have played full strength teams, the lineups have been closer to each other, and still Liverpool have won. This time, the gulf between the 2 lineups should have been absolutely huge. It was quite literally in a number of departments here, men against boys.
Yeah.
But if you'd have looked at the 90 minutes there, having no knowledge of Everton or Liverpool as 2 clubs, and you were asked to choose which one was the more experienced team, you'd choose Liverpool. because they were just up for the game, and Everton just weren't up for the game. And you know, whether that's, you know, the effect of Anfield or what, like it's inexcusable really. But I think, yeah, going back to what you said, there certainly is some sort of mentality issue with these Everton players, and you know, I'm at a loss to explain how you'd even sort that at this point.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Nico Williams there about, you know, you said you were impressed by him. I thought Harvey Elliott had an excellent game against Luca Dean out on at the right flank. But, you know, basically got him booked at one point because he'd ran away from him and forced him into a bit of a cynical foul. I know it might be difficult for you to kind of analyse it from the Everton perspective, but who else kind of impressed you for Liverpool today?
As I say, I think Curtis Jones was constant, you know, ball of energy. You know, I'm not sure I actually know where he was playing, because he just kept popping up across that front three. You know, he was closing down all of Everton's defenders and just making sure that they had absolutely no time on the ball. I think Chiravella was actually quite good in the midfield, you know, playing alongside Adam Lallana, you know, obviously one of the more experienced players, and I think he guided them through there. But I think, you know, Everton's midfielders were completely outdone by Liverpool's midfield today. And as I say, Fedrizzi, when he came on, I thought he was really impressive. Again, so energetic. He's got a lot of pace, getting down that left flank. I thought he was maybe caught out of position a couple of times when he initially came on, and I was thinking to myself, you know, from an Everton perspective, you were thinking maybe Everton will be able to exploit that, but he seemed to sort that out really quickly, and by the time like the second half come round, he was completely settled into the game. He played, you know, beyond his years, as a lot of Liverpool players did today. So, you know, as I say, fair play to them. They've done themselves really proud today.
And Everton obviously coming here with such a dreadful record. They haven't won here since Kevin Campbell, would you believe, back in 1999, September 99. Harvey Elliott was still 5 years away from actually being born. It gives you a sheer, you know, the amount of time it's been since Everton won. But today was the chance, wasn't it? It was a massive chance to get that off the back and end that hoodoo. And now you're looking at it thinking Liverpool are looking to run away in the Premier League, and it's going to be a long time before they get a chance as good as this to get a victory at Anfield, isn't it?
Well, yeah, like when the two lineups came out, you know, I saw a lot of Everton fans on social media saying, all right, well, if it doesn't happen now, then when's it going to happen? Yeah. There was going to be no better chance than now to do this. You know, this was, you know, a fairly similar sort of level of team that played Arsenal in the League Cup, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And they conceded 5 goals that night. Everton couldn't score one, which is it's pretty abysmal, to be honest. You know, they had, as I say, they had good chances in the first half, but it's that lack of clinical edge. You know, we you know, covering Everton all season, you know, we've seen that all season from Everton, just that lack of being able to just put the ball in the back of the net in the big moments. You know, Calvert-Lewin, it went straight at Adrian. Holgate had a header straight at Adrian. Richarlison, it went straight at Adrian. Like, you know, they were good reaction saves from Adrian, but he should have been given absolutely no chance with them. And you know, this was a severely weakened Liverpool team. There's no other way of saying it. This is embarrassing, shambolic. It was a spineless performance from Everton, really. This was a big chance to not just break this Anfield hoodoo, but, you know, to put them a step closer to finally breaking this trophy drought. Haven't won a trophy since 1995, and that's abysmal for a club, you know, with the illustrious history of Everton, and they've just bowed down rather meekly once again, and you know, that's something that Evertonians just aren't going to accept.
Liverpool, as it stands, go into the fourth round draw. Probably going to see a similar team to the one that's beaten Everton here today, as Jurgen Klopp juggles his options for the rest of the season. It's going to be the more experienced and senior side up at Tottenham next. That's on Saturday evening, but for now, that's your lot.